It's been quite a while since we've had one of these meetings, but I'm going to go through very quickly while we're here. My name's Keith Vaness. I'm Secretary of the Sam Hallam campaign. For my sins as well, I actually work for Hackney Homes for him. I'm one of the union conveners and everything there in unison. So I've been involved with the Sam campaign almost since it started, and I have campaigned on a lot of miscarriage of justice cases in the past. Since the last time we had a public meeting here, we nearly all froze to death up in Birmingham outside the CRC, the demonstration. I think we managed to pick the coldest day of the year. After that we went up to celebrate Sam's birthday in Aylesbury, and I think we picked the wettest day of the year that time, nearly all got washed away. And also I'm a very brave supporter of the campaign, actually with a sponsored parachute jump and a very cold field in the middle of Oxfordshire on a Sunday morning. So we've been very active, even if we haven't been very lucky with the weather or whatever.
Right, thanks Keith. As Keith mentioned, when we first decided to hold a public meeting again, we were thinking we would have to ask people to put pressure on the Criminal Cases Review Commission. That did change only a week ago. Keith says there's been some progress. It's at a disgracefully slow rate. Those of you who came to Birmingham back in February with us will know that we put in a very large dossier of new evidence in Sam's case back in February. The funding of the Criminal Cases Review Commission is so dire that it's taken them 7 months just to allocate somebody to start looking at the evidence. I think I actually contrast that with the amount of money as a society we put into the criminal justice system to finding people guilty. In Sam's case, he was arrested in October of 2004. His trial started less than a year later, and he was convicted almost exactly a year later. His appeal took nearly another 2 years to happen. We have only, as I say, a week ago been told that the Commission, who are the only people who are able to send the case, Sam's case, back to the courts, that they are now looking at the evidence in Sam's case. We're very concerned about that because, I don't think you need to be an expert in the law to know that the longer time goes by, the more memories fade, the more evidence disappears, in this case, justice delayed really is justice denied. The Commission, I've had one discussion with the person allocated as what's called the Case Review Manager at the Commission. Rightly, they're not putting a time frame on how long it's going to take to look at Sam's case, because we do want them to do a thorough job. So I was not saying to him, well, we want a decision next week, because we'd be fearful of getting the wrong decision. But that really leads into, well, why are we having a public meeting? What are we asking people to do? It is crucial at this stage that everybody continues to support Sam's case. I can guarantee to you that Sam's case will fail without the support of everybody here and everybody in the area, and further afield who care about the fact that an innocent young man is in prison and has been now for the last 4 years. If you've got time and energy, we would urge you to get directly involved with the campaign. I mean, many people I see here already are, but the more people we have, the more certain we will be of Sam's eventual release and winning justice. We meet every the last Thursday in each month at the Green Hut near Crondall Court, which I think most people know. The next meeting, I think, is on the 30th of October. Please, if you've got the time, everybody's welcome. Get involved. We're always open to ideas on how we can keep Sam's case to the fore and keep the support going. Next year marks 20 years since the prisoners known as the Guildford Four were released. I was privileged to be at the court when they were released. I think that was really the first case in the modern era that brought the whole issue of how many innocent people are sent to prison into the public arena. I don't know if he's arrived yet, but Patrick Maguire, who was involved, he was a member of the Maguire family that was associated with the Guildford Four case. We do expect at some stage this evening. The depressing thought is that when the Guildford Four walked out of the Old Bailey, Sam Hallam was 15 months old. In the following period after that release, some cases I had personal involvement with came to victory: the Birmingham Six, the Tottenham Three, the Bridgewater Four, Judith Ward and others. It's an absolute disgrace that this is still going on, 20 years after the Guildford Four's release, that we're still having to have meetings saying, there are innocent people in prison, release them. A plea that maybe to some people, maybe not to anybody here, but we're still desperate for any evidence that anybody has in the case, any knowledge anybody has of what happened on that night in October 2004. If you've not already come forward, and I would certainly like to thank those people who have come forward most heartily, please consider coming forward with any information you have, which we will pass on to the Criminal Cases Review Commission. I mentioned the Guildford Four. One of them, a man called Gerard Conlon, and I hope I'm not encroaching on the Reverend April Keach's territory here, when he said, if there is a hell, it's being in prison and knowing you're innocent. The final thing I would ask people to do is to make sure that you keep the support to Sam Hallam, or please write to him. It's vitally important when you're in prison. There will be a message from Sam later on, but that to keep his morale up, he needs the support. It really does keep him going. As I mentioned, there is a long road still ahead. We've got to get the case referred back to the Court of Appeal. We've got to persuade the Court of Appeal that Sam Hallam is innocent. But as I've mentioned already, and I'll finish with this, the only way that Sam Hallam is walking out of that prison and is an innocent man is your support, our support, the support of everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to start off by giving apologies to Phil Glanville, who is a fellow councillor, and also in support of his actual campaign. I first met Wendy just about a year and a half ago, and I was really struck by kind of like a real calm and determination to kind of like to keep this campaign on the road. On looking on the details of the actual case and speaking and looking at the actual evidence provided in the conviction of Sam Hallam, it is really apparent to me, just as a layperson, that this has been a great miscarriage of justice, and Sam should be freed. I was going to say that I'd like to give a personal tribute to Wendy, because I think to a large degree, she solely has actually kept this campaign on the road, and it's been inspiration to me to get involved in this campaign through her kind of like energy and determination to get Sam eventually released. So I'll say from my part and from my fellow ward councillors that any kind of support she wants from us, we're quite happy to give any support and representations to ensure that Sam is released. Thank you.